Hi guys, welcome to my walkthrough of Chapter 9 Farewell in Celeste. I assume you are here because you have tried this chapter yourself a couple of times and have been struggling a bit. You can see from my death count there, over 3,000 deaths, and that was from my first completion of this chapter. I've only really done one full playthrough of this chapter, so I'm definitely not a professional. Not bursting through this with speedrun strats in 20 minutes. This took me 12 hours to beat. But I will say that having done that once and also having gone through and completed all the C-sides and B-sides, I've definitely improved my skills to the extent where I think I can actually explain some of the gameplay needed for this chapter. I will say when I first went through myself, I did have to look up a couple of suggestions online, and I struggled to, if you're just watching videos of gameplay without commentary, I did find it a bit challenging, to kind of decipher what you're supposed to do and how it feels. I mean, I know that's a weird thing to kind of say, but if you've played a lot of Celeste, you kind of know that the feeling of it is actually quite important. And so I thought I would run through myself with my amateur playthrough and my pretty basic strats, and give you guys a hand if this video is something that will help you get through the chapter. Then brilliant. So for those who haven't seen the chapter already, there's lots and lots of checkpoints, and each checkpoint is very long and difficult. So I'm probably going to break the video up just into these different checkpoints. And I'm going to skip all cutscenes as well, so don't worry about any spoilers. I'm going to start here at singular, just because the start bit isn't actually a challenge. It's more setting the groundwork for the story and getting you used to the feel of the chapter. So anyway, here we are. Golden strawberry awaits. Yeah, no. Let's not worry about the golden strawberry for the time being. That'll be... well, that's probably never going to happen. Okay, so first things first, you only start with one dash in the chapter, unlike chapters 7 and 8, where you started with 2 dashes by default. However, the first mechanic they get you used to is this double gem, which gives you not just your dash back in midair, as per the usual gems, but also it sets you up with 2 dashes. So, not too bad a first room, but just setting up that mechanic there. Need to dash up, grab onto that. This room can be a bit tricky. It's a bit about timing. So that was the rhythm of it. I mean, it's actually not set up perfectly for it. It is a bit difficult to describe. Oh god, it is a bit difficult to describe. The gap between the two sort of columns isn't perfect. You may have to delay or jump earlier, dash earlier than you think you might. But anyway, so not too bad first couple of rooms. Right, so here we get this sliding thing, which we're used to from an earlier chapter. Couple of basic strats to get through this room. Probably the easiest one is make sure you've got the double dash and you're on this side of the moving block, and then you can just jump through like that. That's sort of the baby strat. I think the way you're supposed to do this, oh god, is more along the lines of using that to give you a boost through it. But I don't know. As I say, if the beginner strat will do the job, I'm usually okay with it. So there we go. Right, this room took me a bit of thinking. So you jump down here, get the double dash, jump up to this, and then what you need to do when you're on the second block here, I'll see if I can just, there we go. So when you're on the second block, so this block here, oh god, the one that just killed me, you then need to jump up and dash into the third one so that it then propels you over to the other side of the room. So and then off of the third one, if I can do this, you need to dash horizontally. Come on, there you go, and it gives you the momentum, and then you need to jump, and then you're not quite finished because you need to react reasonably quickly. So you get a double dash, and then you need to use the momentum of that block pushing you forward to get the double jump over there. So no harm done. So this room's a bit tricky. You need to preserve your double dash. Let me show you. Like, you might start doing this room and you think, this is easy enough. Well, I don't even need that spring. It's just sort of a tricksy little spring. Let me just dash over here. You know, springs return your dash. Oh no, wait. No, not ideal. So you need to preserve this double dash all the way through the room. The way to do that is by something along these lines. So, and again, I think I've seen many ways to do this room, so this is probably not the most straightforward, but if you jump up there, and then you can catch up to the spring as it falls. So grab onto that, catch up to the spring. In order to catch up to the spring, you need to hold down to fall faster, which is why I think this strat is probably not the sort of most intended of strats. Let me see if I can actually do it. Okay, yeah, so grab that. When you're on there, the whole block will start to fall. Oh, what's nice about that spring, the third upward spring there, is you can actually, if I can ever get back there. Hang on. Yeah, you can actually do one sort of alignment spring to sort yourself out. Yeah, and then grab onto the tall pillar, jump off of it, and preserve your spring throughout. It's tough to hit falling springs, especially if you're having to hold down. So, but it's not the only time, I'm afraid, that this chapter takes advantage of that mechanic. And in fact, we can see that immediately in this next room here. So, the objective of this: hit the button in such a way that you end, but also so that you can be on this block and it moves you across the room. But the gimmick is you need to be on the other side. So yeah, so it's that sort of idea. So you set this spring off like this. You need to come back down and hit it again. It lines up quite well with the button, which is a nice sort of visual prompt, I suppose. And then what I'm failing to achieve is you need to dash horizontally over this moving block, not diagonally, as I keep doing, to give you the momentum you need. And there you go. And then you use the spring, it gives you back your dash, and happy days. So, bouncing fish, everyone's favorite. Right, these fish work like that. Yeah, just like that. So if you haven't really come across these fish yet, they're not too bad. You can bounce off them like this. They move down, very important. And if you hit them in the face, they explode and you fire off that way. You can see the radius of their explosion with their little fishing line thing there. So yeah, so it takes a bit of subtlety. You can also hold your jump off of the fish and you get a higher bounce. So what I did there, you know, just jumped round, knocked it down. In fact, let me just talk you through it quickly. Again, these earlier rooms are not too bad. I know I'm dying lots, but I'm quite bad at this game. But yeah, so you can see there, bounce off the fish to push it down, jump over, and then you don't have to dash into it to get the explosion. You can just like float into it. As long as you hit it from the side onwards, you'll get the explosion. It'll fly you over. Bouncing off of them or getting the explosion refreshes your basic dash, so no harm done. All right. So this room, well, yeah, this room took me a little while to figure out. Okay, so what you need to do is that. Okay, there we go. All right, I knew it would cause me some problem. So yeah, you have to dash over the top of the fish so that you're bouncing off of the correct side of it. And you need to hold jump while you do it so that you get a big bounce. So yeah, I only got a little bounce there. So when you jump up here, make sure you continue to hold jump thereafter. And yeah, you can't dash into the side of it or you'll die like that. And you can't use your dash there either because you need it to get back in. So you need that big jump and then you need to jump again then you need to dash again on top of the other fish so that it doesn't send you flying back to the left. So a bit of a tricky room. That initial dash over the top of the fish is the hard part. We get another one straight away, which is great. We learn another mechanic there, that exploding fish can set off buttons or little, you know, I don't know, the little spinning medallions. You know what I mean when I say button. Yeah, so that's quite an important mechanic. And then, so you saw it activated that bottom one there. Oh, fish respawn as well. So if you either knock them all the way off the screen by forcing them down through jumping on them, or if you blow them up, they do respawn eventually. If you're worried about that death count. But I wouldn't be worried about that death count, to be honest. Right, so if I don't suck at this game, you need to do this dash over the top of the fish. You can see there's not a lot of room. And it's something like that. I almost did it first time, didn't I? Right, there we go. That's what you want. So again, you want to be holding jump when you come off this, so you get a nice big bounce. You have to react quite quickly to the fish explosions. They can catch you out. You can, in this room, you can actually use your dash to collect the first button if you need to, because you can reach the fish without the dash. But anyway, so that's that room done and dusted. Moving on. Right, so back to our favorite dream blocks. I think these are everyone's favorite. They are a lot of fun. So what you do with this one, it's got a bit of a flow to it, this room. So let me start this room again. So jump off the first fish, land, moves it down next to the button, and then you need to dash down, immediately dash, well, not quite immediately, but you have to dash into the fish like that, force you over at the same time as hitting the button. And if you're lucky, you can land directly on this block, or you might land directly on the fish. Either way, you just need to force it down again in the same sort of way, and then up and over for that fish, and up through the blocks onto another fish. I mean, you can see the room, how it sort of self-repeats a bit, but you get the flow. Again, typically you want to be holding jump off of the fish to get a bigger bounce, and then don't forget to dash back up through the dream blocks. Very nice. So this room is a bit of a puzzle. It took me a while to figure out. So the objective is obviously to clear this thing with that button down there. But you've got to navigate this fish, get back up, all very confusing. So the key to this, send the fish down. Oh gosh, excuse me. Hold duck jump button, send the fish down, dash onto this button. Make sure you're holding grab. Over we go, back down. Right, and then that's the move. So you've got to bounce over the fish and then dash over the fish, so that when you then turn back around and hit it, you're hitting it from the right direction. And then your stamina runs out if you talk too long while holding a wall. So yeah, so let's see that again. Hold that, down we go. Dash over the fish, back into the fish to get the dash over there. And then we can use the fish which has respawned to burst back up. Not too bad if you know what you're doing. Right, more fish. So this room... okay, so yeah, this room, not too bad. What you need to do is that. So let me just do that again. So dash on top of the fish like this. Hold jump so you get a big bounce off of it. And then nurdle back into it almost immediately. Well, not almost immediately. Once it's got a lot of height, use it to burst across the room. Then dash upwards into that other fish. It all happens quite quickly, but it's not too bad when you get the hang of it. This room I didn't like at all. So bounce off that fish there, bounce off the fish again. Then, yeah, then you just basically this room you're nurdling this fish about the screen. Using holding the jump button to get these big bounces. Yeah, and then the bottom's a bit hard because you need to be you need to get some leftward momentum for your fish dash there. You can dash off the top of it, so I think I'm being a bit Right, come on. Like I say, not my favourite room, this. Not at all. And it doesn't help. I mean, you can see there, just holding forwards almost doesn't quite work. And what I like to do, hold jump for all of these so you get a big bounce. And then this one, don't hold jump because you don't actually want that big bounce. Right. Something like that. So, yeah, let me just do it one more time. If I can. Maybe asking for trouble there. Yeah. Oh, one other thing I should say. You can dash onto the fish between these because the fish does restore your dash if you bounce off of it. Oh, so close. Yeah, you don't want to lose momentum here. You need to be holding right the whole time. And then dash. Yeah, you see there. So you don't want a big jump off the fish then. You just want a little jump, so you want to let go of the jump button there. So it's all about knowing when you want a big dash and when you want a little dash. Okay, I'm gonna cut to when I actually manage this room again. So sorry about that, everyone. Maybe it'll be this run, who knows? No. Alright. Right, there we go. So good luck with that room. Bit of a tricky one to get first time. This room looks a lot worse than it is. All the gems are set up neatly for you. You don't need to worry too much about when and where to dash. So just dash up to this wall here. This gives you 2 gems, and then you need a diagonal dash over that. I always hold grab the whole way through this room. I mean, it's not necessary, but yeah, you just want to directly left dash. Don't jump off of that wall. Jump off of this wall though, because you don't have a dash at this point. Right. There you go. So directly left dash, straight up, left again. Let yourself drop, which I did not do there. So don't panic. These dashes are all very deliberate. So left, up, left, pause, left, right, 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 and there we go. So it just takes a bit of practice. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's not about mashing the dash button. It's about dashing when you need to. And here we go. So we've reached our first checkpoint, or I suppose our second checkpoint. So thank you very much for watching that guide to the first checkpoint of Celeste, singular, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks very much, guys.